When it comes to government in Toronto, few bureaucrats are more prominent than the head of the TTC.
I was about getting in to the nitty-gritty and making sure that we do the right thing at the TTC.
Rick Leary has been in the top job for almost 7 years. On Friday, he steps down.
I'm 61 years old, and you start thinking about what you want to do next in life. And you start thinking it's about time personal change.
It was a decade ago when the former Boston Transit executive joined the TTC. He was brought in by former boss Andy Byford to
help fix the business, all right, fix the operations. I'm very operational.
But the two CEOs had different approaches. Byford was known for being in front of the cameras a lot more. Leary, not as much.
I'm not the one out there loading buses, right, saying hi to people. I'm the one in the subway tunnel making sure that we determine what the cause was so we can never have it happen again.
Questions have surrounded his resignation, though. In October, the TTC board opened an investigation into allegations of workplace misconduct. Any potential findings haven't been released. Chair Jamal Myers was previously asked if Leary was forced out.
I can confirm that is not the case. Rick resigned to pursue new opportunities and, to break board confidentiality. We were all sad to see him go.
How you would respond to some of the reporting that's been out there about your departure?
When I announced I'm leaving on my own terms, I feel real good about that. It took a few months of thinking, talking to my wife and family.
There have been no shortage of major issues facing Leary. One of the biggest was COVID-19.
Nobody knew what was going to happen. We were no different.
The TTC was a vital link for frontline workers during the pandemic. But with many staying home, revenues plummeted. Recovery since has been a challenge.
It just told me there was a lack of investment from other levels of government in the transit system.
Another issue was a lack of diversity in the agency.
This organization was 13% women when I took over,
prompting a major shift in policy.
4 out of every 10 frontline operators now has to be hired as a woman. 73% of them are racialized. This organization looks a lot different from when I got here than now that I'm leaving. Not everybody looks like me.
I've heard from employees throughout the ranks that Rick was the most committed CEO the TTC has ever had to really improving diversity in the ranks, and that is a proud legacy.
What do you wish you knew when you first took this job that you know now?
It's a good question, but I got to tell you, I think I came into it pretty open-minded, an operational person that was working on fixing the organization, and then I kind of led myself to better understanding of long-term planning, capital investment.
It seems like there's been an increase in maintenance and equipment-related issues. I think of the Scarborough RT derailment. I think of the hydraulic fuel leak that saw a shutdown, and we see a number of slow zones across the subway network. Where does the responsibility for that lie, and what's behind it?
So I think ultimately, it's the organization that lies with me. I just call it what it is. It's the SRT. How many times did people talk about it has been exceeded its useful life? In 2021, I took a report to the board about it was time to recommend shutting it down. It had exceeded its useful life. It had gone too far. It had lost all its reliability, and we were losing ridership, right? Really focus on improving the maintenance of the system. But you do have to get an understanding of your baseline. We always take the safest course of action, and we put the street restrictions in. We have to start getting to the core of what the problems are. The lack of capital funding for state of good repair.
I live in Scarborough. I travel all across the city for work. I can go 11, 12, 1 o'clock at night. There are workers who are standing on buses because the buses are at capacity. What more needs to be done to address that so people, if you're trying to lure people back to transit, that they actually have a seat to sit on?
No, you're absolutely right. And we've been talking about more service in the city of Toronto, more bus rapidways. In the last 5 years, we instituted 2 of them. I'd like to see more of those in. That'll provide better, more reliable service. Less need for buses or better spread of buses will also be very helpful.
What does the TTC need to better serve the residents of Toronto that it's not getting right now?
It's about investing in public transit, about the state of good repair. We have new buses and we have new streetcars and new trains. But Line 2, it makes me nervous. As I look for the future, we need Line 2 money to get those new trains. Everybody loves a ribbon cutting. I like to maintain what we have.
Do you have any regrets of things you look back and go, I should have done more?
You always want to do things faster. You want to make culture change faster. You want to get things done, things cleaner. You want to change the training. I can tell you I'm very happy with what I've put in place. There's always that one more thing you want to do. After 7 years, I think it's time to turn it over to somebody else.
What advice do you have for your successor?
And I'm trying to make sure that whoever comes in next understands the playbook that's been put in front of them, and have them have the ability to move it on. It is about relationships at all levels of government. It's about working with the unions, working with frontline employees. Enjoy the job because you can make a difference here.
So as for who's taking over as head of the TTC, the board is meeting on Wednesday to appoint a temporary CEO. At Davisville Station, Nick Westoll, City News.